Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. The Marine killed during a training exercise over the weekend has been identified. The Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center announced yesterday that Staff Sergeant Jerry Betzold was killed after a rollover collision during a training exercise on Saturday. Betzold was 26 years old and originally from Avon, Indiana. He joined the Marine Corps in August of 2016 and was promoted to Staff Sergeant this past March. The Marine Corps reports that Betzold was involved in a rollover in a high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle during a service-level training exercise. Betzold was taken to the Robert E. Bush Naval Hospital in 29 Palms for treatment and then transferred to Desert Regional Medical Center. He died from his injuries on Sunday. The cause of the rollover is currently under investigation. A cannabis dispensary is opened in 29 Palms. The dispensary is called Red Falcon Dispensary, and it is located at 73829 Baseline Road on Native American reservation land near Tortoise Rock Casino. The dispensary is a tribal enterprise owned by the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians, who operate several dispensaries in the Coachella Valley. Commercial cannabis activity is banned at the county level in San Bernardino, and 29 Palms has not made an exception to that ban. Because the dispensary is on land owned by the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians, it is considered to be outside of the county's jurisdiction. This is the first legal cannabis dispensary to open in the Morongo Basin. Cannabis is legal to sell in nearby Riverside County, and dispensaries based in the low desert advertise to cannabis users in our area. Many dispensaries deliver cannabis to the Morongo Basin, which is technically a violation of the county's ban. Red Falcon Dispensary opened for business over the weekend. They will be open every day from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. A road rage incident in the line to enter the national park sent one man to the hospital. On Saturday at around 7:15 p.m., sheriff's deputies and paramedics with Morongo Basin Ambulance responded to Joshua Tree National Park. Deputies report that the victim was in his car with his family, in line to enter the park on Park Boulevard in Joshua Tree, when another car in the line didn't move. The victim told deputies he shouted at the other driver to move the car, and that the driver then got out of the car and hit the windows of the victim's car. The victim told deputies that there was a physical altercation. The victim suffered from undisclosed injuries and was taken to High Desert Medical Center. No arrests have yet been made related to this incident. This time last year, thousands of cars drove into the high desert to catch a view of an annual stargazing event, catching the national park off guard. Joining us is online news editor Robert Hayden, who says that this year the park is more prepared.
The Perseids meteor shower is an annual celestial show that's the best way for a casual stargazer to see a meteor shower, as the frequency of the Perseids can be as many as a meteor every few minutes during its most busy times. That's what happened on August 12th of last year. It was a Saturday with a new moon, and leading up to the event, media outlets like Z107.7 and maybe some slightly larger ones like the LA Times created a media storm, telling folks that Joshua Tree and the National Park is one of the best destinations to watch the Perseids. Can't argue with that. However, the high desert's dark skies and proximity to major cities caused visitation to the park to hit unprecedented levels. At its peak, the Joshua Tree entrance to the park saw 600 cars per hour, and the usually slow South Cottonwood entrance ran 820 cars through its gates. The line of headlights seemed endless, with 800 cars per hour exiting the park at 3 a.m., jamming up Highway 62 and roads like Alta Loma until sunrise. This year, you may not see as many news stories pumping up the basin as the place to be to see the Perseids. The shower is expected to peak from August 10th to the 12th, a weekend, but one with a quarter moon, meaning the visibility of the meteor shower should be significantly lessened. However, park staff is still gearing up for the potential surge, which could see stargazers from all over the state descend into the basin, especially if cooler weather in the evenings continues. If you really want to get out in nature for the Perseids, there are a lot of free alternatives to the national park. We'll have that story coming up later this week. In the meantime, the National Park will be preparing for the celestial event, which last year saw a single-day record-breaking $160,000 in park fees collected from star seekers. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
If you're seeing smoke in the sky here in the Morongo Basin, it's coming from a wildfire in Riverside County called the Nixon Fire. According to the Riverside County Fire Department, as of last night, the fire has grown to 3,700 acres and is at 0% containment. The fire is currently burning in Aguanja in Riverside County, and our area is not under any evacuation orders. A 4.9 earthquake 13 miles outside of Barstow was felt by residents of the high desert yesterday at almost exactly 1 p.m. 3 consecutive tremblers shook Southern California, a 4.9 at a depth of about 4 miles, followed by 2 smaller shakers, a 3.5 and a 2.7. Near midnight, 2 more 2.7 earthquakes were measured near the same location but at different depths. Around the high desert, folks reported feeling the earthquake, but the shaking was so slight, most people went about their day without knowing about the quake. There were no reports of damage in Barstow or adjacent areas. You can keep up on what's shaking in Southern California by visiting earthquake.usgs.gov. The 29 Palms Tourism Business Improvement District meets this afternoon. Tasked with increasing tourism and tourism dollars in 29 Palms, the TBID meets in regular session monthly. At today's meeting, board members will receive and review the Visit 29 Palms marketing plan and budget draft. Today's meeting is open to the public and will be held at 29 Palms City Hall at 3:30 p.m. The Marine Corps Combat Center will be holding a back-to-school resource fair tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. in the West Gym, Building 1518. Reporter Gabriel Hart has highlights for this celebratory head start for Morongo Unified School District's upcoming school year.
The Combat Center wants your family to be ready for MUSD's 2024-25 school year, so please join more than 20 organizations on hand, providing information and resources to help you prepare. Highlights include free school supplies and backpacks while supplies last, MUSD representatives and staff from the local 29 Palms schools, the Combat Center School Liaison, McGruff the Crime Dog, Combat Center Desert Tortoise Ambassadors Thelma and Louise, military vehicles on display, plus tours of the school bus and Combat Center Fire Department fire engine. It all takes place at the Marine Corps Base Combat Center from 4 to 6 in the West Gym, Building 1518. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
And finally, drug overdose deaths are on the rise in the United States, but there are ways to help drug users survive a fentanyl overdose. The Green Roadrunner in Yucca Valley has teamed with Reach Out to provide an overdose training session tomorrow morning. The session will teach you how to look for signs of an overdose and how to administer what could be a life-saving dose of Narcan. All attendees will be given a free dose of Narcan. The class is free, but registration is required. To sign up, email thegreenroadrunneryv@gmail. The Green Roadrunner is located at 57533 29 Palms Highway, Suite 2 in Yucca Valley. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.